Hello, my name is Stefano, and I'm here to present our study, the addition of endoscopic sphincterotomy to biliary stent placement and its impact on the risk of adverse events, an updated meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials. I'd like first to thank our senior author, Fauzi Malou, for helping us, and our first author, Otávio Martins, to letting me do this presentation. So nobody in our group has anything to disclosure. So endoscopic sphincterotomy is not mandatory before biliary stenting, but it could reduce resistance to the passage of stents and improve the final stent diameter, and this can mitigate the occurrence of pancreatitis. However, sphincterotomy has also been associated with an increase of adverse events such as bleeding, perforation, and cholangitis. So the aim of our study is to consolidate the evidence of sphincterotomy adverse events in biliary stenting during ERCP. So the primary outcome was the occurrence of post-ERCP pancreatitis. The second outcomes included post-procedure bleeding, perforation, stent occlusion, stent migration, occurrence of cholangitis, and occurrence of cholecystitis. So research on PubMed, Embase, and Cochrane. We included only randomized controlled trials, enrolling patients who underwent ERCP requiring endoscopic biliary drainage via plastic or metallic stents. We also included a study with a endoscopic nasobiliary drainage. The importance is that those studies had two groups, one of which had sphincterotomy and the other one without it. We excluded studies that were not randomized controlled trials, had no control groups, and did not reported at least one of the outcomes of interest. This systematic review and meta-analysis were performed following the Cochrane collaboration and the PRISMA statement guidelines. The odds ratio with 95 confidence interval was used to compare treatment effects for dichotomous endpoints. Cochrane Q-test and I-square statistics were used to assess heterogeneity. P-values below 0.10 and I-square over 25% were considered significant for high heterogeneity. We use the Simonian and Lard random effects model for all outcomes. And we use Review Manager for statistical analysis. Our study was also registered on Prospero prospectively. So our search strategy had over 1,500 results. After duplicates and excluded by title and abstract, we had 32 studies, 7 of which with the wrong population, 5 with the wrong intervention, and 13 with other issues. We ended up with 7 studies. 3 of them had metallic stents, 3 of them had plastic stents, and 1 had a nasobiliary catheter. So as a primary outcome, post-ERCP pancreatitis was reported in all 7 studies, and we found no statistical difference, although there was a possible trend favoring the sphincterotomy group. The leave one out sensitivity analysis, excluding Cato, did not change the result. Bleeding was evaluated by 6 studies, and a significant difference between groups favoring the non-sphincterotomy group was found. We can see here as not doing sphincterotomy is a protection effect against bleeding. We also had a clinically significant bleeding that was evaluated by 3 studies that also had a statistically significant result favoring the non-sphincterotomy group. The other adverse events, such as cholangitis, perforation, stent migration, and stent occlusion, were reported by mostly 3 and 4 studies, but they did not have any statistical differences. We did a subgroup analysis. So a post-ERCP pancreatitis after the drainage due to pancreatic cancer or ampullary cancer was reported by 6 studies, and no statistically significant difference was found. Regarding the type of stent, both sub-analyses evaluating metal stents and plastic stents did not yield significant differences. As the quality assessment, 5 of the included studies demonstrated low risk of bias, while 2 demonstrated a moderate risk. So our study is a systematic review and meta-analysis with 7 randomized trials, and we encompass a total of 1,022 patients. The effectiveness and safety of biliary stent placement with and without sphincterotomy in patients undergoing ERCP had no difference between groups regarding the occurrence of post-ERCP pancreatitis, cholangitis, perforation, stent migration, or stent occlusion. But we found that there was increased bleeding rates in the sphincterotomy group. Although the same topic has already been explored by previously published meta-analysis, those studies were limited mostly by non-randomized data. In addition, the pooled randomized population for the comparisons of these endoscopic approaches has almost doubled since those studies were published. The most recent ASGE guideline on post-ERCP pancreatitis discusses reliable strategies to prevent it. Avoiding sphincterotomy is not established as an option. The idea behind performing sphincterotomy before stent placement comes from the concept that the major causes of post-ERCP pancreatitis are due to the mechanical injury from the manipulation of the ampulla and the pancreatic juice congestion that is caused by pancreatic orifice occlusion. Thus, the endoscopic sphincterotomy might decrease this pressure exerted by the stent. Back in the 80s, a case series study demonstrated decreased adverse events, such as post-ERCP pancreatitis, in patients that underwent endoscopic sphincterotomy before biliary stenting. The results from a recent RCT surprisingly showed a higher significantly incidence of post-ERCP pancreatitis in the non-sphincterotomy group, which differs from the majority of the RCTs included in this study. However, it's difficult to rule out the association between cannulation difficulty, which was higher in the non-endoscopic sphincterotomy group, and the observed increased incidence of post-ERCP pancreatitis. Our study has some limitations. Most studies included patients with malign or benign obstructions. Consequently, the results of our analysis may not be directly extrapolated to the patients with other etiologies requiring biliary drainage. Although we could not access the time when the outcomes occurred for every trial included, therefore, the inclusion of studies reporting late outcomes, more than 30 days, may impair the quality of evidence of the study. So, to decrease this whenever available, we included only adverse events which are those occurring within 30 days of the procedure. So we performed a systematic review and meta-analysis comparing endoscopic sphincterotomy and no endoscopic sphincterotomy in patients underwent ERCP for any reasons necessitating a biliary drainage. We found no statistical differences for any adverse events, but to bleeding. So there was a suggestion that endoscopic sphincterotomy is not required for ERCP biliary drainage. I would like to thank GIE for the invitation, and thank you for watching.